and welcome to the Masterclass. I am so excited. My name is Leslie J. Mayer, and the Masterclass today is what makes my 39-and-a-half-year marriage work. And it's going to be the behind the scenes on our life Masterclass. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to be here with you. When you're coming on live, please let me know where you're coming from, and we'll just be able to connect that way. If you've got any questions along the way, any comments, I love to see them. Just let me know that you're here. I live in Israel, and we are actually 7 p.m. right now. So when you're coming on, let me know where you are from, and we will get started. So I really want to let you know what's going to happen in this masterclass. I'm going to be giving you some valuable information here, and I'm also going to be giving the final love tip for today, which is day 21 of the 21 Love Tip series. And this has been an absolute pleasure to bring these on to you. It's been so much fun, and it seems like a lot of you have really enjoyed it. So I am excited to bring on the last tip, and then I'll be diving into the content of today and really what makes our 39-and-a-half-year marriage work. And actually, it's even more than 39-and-a-half years. It's 39 3/4 years, but it looked a bit weird, so I didn't write that down as the title of this masterclass. And at the end, I've got an exciting offer that I'll be introducing. I'll be announcing to you, and that's going to be very exciting. And if it feels good, then you can continue on and work with me. All right, you can reach out to me to find out about that, and I will let you know at the end. And after that, I will also be answering any more questions that come up. So let's dive in. First of all, let's get started, and we're going to go on with day 21, the love tip from day 21. And here it is. And this is going to be pretty well like the base of today's masterclass. Also, you will see as we go on in time that this is the base of everything. Okay? So treat him as you desire to be treated. Let trust and love and respect be your guidelines. Because what would it feel like if you were on the receiving end? That's always a thing we've got to keep in mind, is how does it feel when we're on the other end? Okay? So treat him as you desire to be treated, and use love, respect, and trust as your guidelines. Okay, so that is officially wrapping up our 21-day Love Tip series. I love to hear also which ones you loved the best, which ones made the most impact, which ones you felt you could really take and change something in your relationship with any one of these, because that's what I did it for. That's the reason I put these out there, so that you can have better support with your relationship, because if something is not going right, then you'll know where to steer and where to change things. All right, so I'd love to know any of those tips, whichever ones you love the best. Okay, so now let me get on to the masterclass, the content that I've got prepared for you. And I also have some notes here, so if you see me looking a bit on the side, then you'll know, because I want to keep the content part slightly structured, not that much, but slightly structured. So as we go along, that's what it is. And I've got myself some little cup of tea here to keep me warm. We had a bit of problem with our power the past few days, and yesterday and today. It was pouring rain and hail and wind and everything, and our heating didn't work either, so got to get bundled up. So let me just back up and tell you my story first, and how we got together, how I got together with my husband. I was originally born in Canada. I'm from Toronto, and I went searching for my voice. I followed my heart, and I left home when I was 16. I came to Israel, and unfortunately, about 2 years after I arrived in Israel, I was involved in a very serious car accident. What happened was an army truck collided with us. It was wartime here, and tragically my boyfriend died in the car accident, and I was seriously injured. I was very seriously injured, and I was in the hospital recovering. I was there for 6 weeks. They originally thought I was going to be for there 6 months, but I had multiple injuries, and I was on life support for 10 days. And I remember, when I woke up the first time after surgery, and it was the next morning, and, I asked the doctor where my boyfriend is, because I had no recollection of the accident. And he told me that my boyfriend wasn't as strong as I was, and he didn't make it. Now, those words kept me going for years and years. And still, I feel them every time I think of it, because I was still alive, even though I was, going through all these, these procedures and surgeries, and had to recover from so much, but I was alive and he didn't make it. And so I had that loss of the relationship that came up, obviously very suddenly. I had to deal with the emotional pain and the physical pain as I was recovering. And several years later, after I recovered, and several years later, I was in another relationship, and for a few years, and that too ended abruptly. It was not the same circumstances. This person did not die, but the relationship ended very suddenly. I was basically dumped at a very, very, very vulnerable time in my life. And again, I was alone. It's not that I didn't have friends or family. My family wasn't even in Israel at the time, but I was going from a steady relationship, and then I was alone. So I had to pick myself up again. And what this did to me, I realized it later on, was in order for me to continue with my life, in order for me to actually be able to function, I took some of these emotions that were so painful for me, and I closed them up in what I call a little black box. I always knew it was there. It was this little black box at the bottom of my heart, and I locked the key. I absolutely locked the key. I didn't throw it away into the middle of the ocean, which I was thinking of sometimes. That would be a good idea to do, but I didn't. I kept them under tight guard, even though I was a very sensitive person. So it was even more difficult for me to keep these under lockup. But in order for me to function, that's what I had to do. And in time, I began to realize that this was not serving me very well. In order for me to feel deep connections again, I needed to open up this little box and let these emotions out and deal with them. Because if they go, untended to, then they just get stuck deep down inside, and they start creating like this scar tissue around it, and it gets even more difficult to open up that little black box. Some women call it the armor, their protective walls. For me, it was the little black box, because I didn't put up armor around me. It was just inside me. There were things that I didn't want to go to. There were things that I did not want to, just see how I can get past this and what I can do with it. So that's what, I've had to deal with, and I had to move away from that. I had to open up this and hope that I could move on. And even though these things were still very, very prominent in my life, because they were a big part of me, these were very emotional times that I went through, I actually had to move through them. And once I was able to open up again and be able to understand and work with my own feelings, be not ashamed of them, and be not so hurt by them that I wasn't gonna let anyone else in, then I was able to actually meet with my husband. We met through a mutual friend, and yeah, so like we've been together for about 41 years now, and our relationship together has grown. We were together for about a year and a half before we got married. Yeah, about a year and a half before we got married. And what happened was, I think what I shared in the post yesterday, if you didn't see that, it was how our first date went. It wasn't so good. It was not so good at all. And I'm not going to repeat it because I wrote it on the post from yesterday. You can go check that one out and see exactly what's, what it's all about. But it was because I was able to express my emotions, I was able to express what was going on, that this situation that came up, which was a big trigger for me, I was able to let him know what it was, and we were able to move past it. And fortunately enough, he was sensitive enough. He understood that something was wrong, and we were able to, move forward. So again, you can, read about that one later. So our family life together, we've been living in Israel. He's an Israeli, and we've been living together here in Israel, since I moved to Israel. Actually, that's when it was so many years ago. And we've been together. We lived in a very tight environment with his parents and his family, because they live very close by here, and his parents are not alive anymore. And our children, now that we've got together, our children are all nearby us. So that is a wonderful situation that we're living in, and we've created this on purpose. We wanted it to happen, and it was something that we've been working towards. Now, we don't live, even though we've got a family business. It's a very successful family business. We've been doing this for many, many years, and our children are now working in the business with us. I've actually stepped back because I've been pursuing my passion of helping women, with their relationships and understanding how important this is in their life. But with, this family business and living the entrepreneurial life, if you are an entrepreneur, you know what it's like. You got everything. You've got the ups and downs. You've got the rewards. You've got the challenges, the joys, and the uncertainty, everything that goes with it. That's part of our everyday life. And there are challenges that come up all the time, as I'm sure you have experienced, again, if you are an entrepreneur. And that also can lead to tension within a relationship if you don't know how to communicate properly, and if you don't know how to take each one a different role within the household. And I know so often this is one of the biggest issues women have. Women that are successful in their business, they have the identity of being the boss woman in their business, and when they come home, even if they work from home, it doesn't matter, when they shift into their life as a family, if you don't even have kids, if it's with your husband or your partner, then they keep on going with the same type of boss energy. There's a boss vibe, and that is one of the things that can absolutely ruin a relationship, because what makes it work in the business is exactly what makes it not work in the relationship. And I'll go into that a little bit later on as we go on here. So one of the things that I was very, very, I'm not going to say good at, because it actually came naturally to me. It wasn't something that I needed to learn how to do. It was being in my own feminine energy. Okay? And that meant for me that I was the one that let him be in his masculine energy. So much more than me. It's not me running the show within our relationship inside the household. Yeah, I've got my function as the wife and the mom, and now I'm a grandma. And that, of course, I need to do a lot of that in masculine energy. But within our relationship, you know, I create the warmth and the loving atmosphere in the home, and he creates a stability. He creates this structure for us, and you know, everything that needs to be fixed and everything needs to be taken care of. He does all of that, and I do the other part. I get, like I said, I get the atmosphere. I keep it warm and loving within the household. So while we've got our family business here, and it's a very successful family business, and we live an abundant life. We built our dream home a few years ago. We built another home before, and now even, you know, we built another one just next door to the one we were living in before. And all of this is part of the way we are together. And even so, we don't even show up, I guess, as, let me put it this way. I just want to think of how to word this right. Our life is not one of a show-off type of vibe. We live our life together. We love our life together. My husband works, like, our family business is right off the backyard here. So he comes in multiple times a day. And I would say out of...
He comes to give you a kiss.
Oh, he's coming to give me a kiss. Oh, this is so exciting. Oh, thank you. Say hello at least.
Good luck.
Thank you. Oh, okay. All right. So, you know, as we live together here, and he comes in so many times during the day, I think maybe 98% of the time that he comes in, we hug. It's just part of our natural routine. And, you know, I'll tell you the truth, if I know that he's going through a very stressful day, that he's got some stressful meetings, that things are not going as planned, things are change of whatever is going on, I'll keep that hug going for longer because I know that he needs it. It just centers him and helps him ground, which is something that he would not do on his own. And that's something that I take on myself as my role to see and to feel where he needs this extra support, where he needs some tender loving care, and not for him to be only the one in always the masculine energy. I will shift into it and I'll give him that extra support for him to feel, you know, safe and loved, and for it to feel a wonderful atmosphere where he can actually have this, you know, he can build his power back up and to go and to do all the stuff that he needs to do. And because the masculine energy is so much in doing and doing and doing. Let's get another sip here. So for me, that is the greatest form of abundance. You know, even though we do have a great amount of it, it's like it's this unlimited abundance that we have. But the type of relationship that we have together gives me the feeling that I am the richest woman in the world. I'm the wealthiest woman in the world. And I believe that this is something that, you know, when we can bring this and into the relationship and have everybody in the family feeling this, it is the most valuable blueprint that we can actually leave as a legacy for our children. We can give them this strength, this emotional intelligence, this ability to feel, to be sensitive, and to be kind to one another, to trust, and to feel this immense feeling of acceptance, and, you know, there's compassion. These are all very, very important things that go on in our relationship. And the triggers are one of the most important things to learn how to deal with, because they are going to come up. They always do come up. They come up from our past. The triggers come up as part of our past. It's a mirror. It's all of a sudden something that happened in the past that someone else is showing us, like it's a mirror for us, and we get to see exactly how this comes up in our life now and what we can do with it. So the thing is, when these triggers come up, and this was part of also what I wrote in the post yesterday about, our first date, we need to process. We need to take time to process these feelings that are coming up. And that's like the hardest thing in the world to do, because when you're triggered and you want to just retaliate, or you want to just, shoot off whatever you've got in your mind and say that they're wrong and blame them. That's the easiest thing to do. But we really don't have to do that. The thing is, we've got to just understand why it came up. And once we understand why it came up, then we can easily express that in a calm way so that your partner can understand it, and you will feel more understanding of you, and realize for the next time it happens also what happened, and he'll know how to navigate. Maybe not set it off for you. Maybe you'll know it's coming up again and understand what to deal with it. So the thing is, part of our relationship is it's just like common sense, that we've gone into this mode of this is what it's like, and if it changes, then it feels unnatural. Then we've got to understand. We've got to make sure we understand what's going on if something changes. Okay, so what I've found, there are 3 distinct pillars that create a healthy, loving, and long-lasting relationship. These are 3 pillars that you need, and you're going to see how they balance each other. And 3 is a very strong structure. So the first one is what I mentioned before, and like I've touched on all of these, but I'm going to just mention it a little bit right now. So the first one is feeling your emotions. If we as women do not feel our emotions, we do not understand how to express our emotions intelligently, nobody else knows what's going on inside of us. Nobody else can understand unless you can express it. And you cannot let anyone else into your heart if your emotions are locked. This is like the number one thing I see with women, especially women that are high achievers. They're successful in their business. They do not know how to let anyone else into their life because they are afraid. They are afraid of being hurt again. And that's the only reason it comes up, because we were wounded in the past. Something happened, most likely in our childhood, that is now a repeating pattern. And it is just something that's coming up again and again all the time. And that's why we found that it's safer, it's easier, and it feels like you can be more confident without having to open up and being vulnerable about, these things that are going on inside of your heart. But if we don't open up to ourselves, if we don't let anyone else in, they can't come in. And that's for everything. These are all of our emotions together. It's not only love. It's not only love. But that's the main thing that you cannot let in. You can't only let in, it's not a buffet that you can let in part of your emotions and the other part leave out. It doesn't work that way. You can't just section off a little bit and say, this I'm going to allow and this I won't. Because in order to do that, you've got to hold yourself. You've got to be in full control. And when you're in full control of everything, that's very masculine energy. And you don't allow yourself, you don't allow yourself to be soft enough to feel, to trust yourself. To trust yourself that you're going to be okay with this softness of yourself, with this vulnerability. So that's the part in the, feeling your emotions. We need to feel our emotions and open up and understand what's going on, what happened in the past, why we've closed down, and then we'll be able to open up our heart to someone else. Let them see inside of our heart. Your partner doesn't want only part of you. You got in this together, to stay together, to be one. it doesn't grow and it doesn't thrive and it's not a healthy relationship, the passion is not 100% anymore. It can't happen if you're locked down. You lock them out, you're locked down inside like I was. It doesn't happen. You need to open up, okay? So that's the first pillar, is feeling your emotions. The second one is, for us women, it's to be in feminine energy within our relationship. Like I said before, there are many times in our life that we need to be in masculine energy. But in order to have a balanced relationship, if you want your man to be in his masculine energy, to be the strong one, to be there for you, to be the one that gives the structure, and for you to be able to let down and just feel this softness, which is the most magical part of you. It is absolutely the most magical part of us. It's the most magnetic part of us. And it is an amazing place to be. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. But that doesn't happen when we are in our masculine energy. Our masculine energy is the doing energy. The feminine energy is the being energy. It's who we are also when we're doing things. Okay? So the feminine energy is actually the softness part. It's the emotions. It's the, it's the free spirit. It's the part of you that loves nature, that goes out for a walk maybe, or enjoys flowers, or art, or beauty, or music. This is the feminine side, and we've all got masculine and feminine in us, both. But it's this balance. It's this dance that makes it work. Because if men aren't all masculine energy either. And if there were, they'd be worn down. They also have feminine energy. And like I said before, there are times that we need to we need to go more into our masculine so that he can recuperate, so he can feel soft, and that, he can relax and just feel safe again, that he's not on guard. So the next pillar, so that was pillar number 2. First one being feeling emotions, the second one being in feminine energy, and the third one is effective communication. This one I learned much later on. So I was in feminine energy a lot of my life, for most of my life. I was really like that. It was just the way I am naturally, so that was one of my strengths. The locking my emotions, I did that, and I had to learn how to open up and work through that. Now the third one is effective communication. I also had to learn that one. That wasn't something that was, that I was naturally inclined to, so it's something that I definitely had to learn. And the thing is, this effective communication is so important for us as women because men are very responsive to us. Their brains work differently. They actually respond to us. They don't see things the way we do. They don't, understand the world the way we do. It's just different. It's just very, very different. So we need to be able to communicate this in a way that he understands and he feels respected, of course, and heard and safe. And once we're able to communicate these things, once we're able to bring this to light and actually show him that we are out to make this work together. This is, again, a partnership. And this is something that we want to grow together. Then all of our requests, he will, be so much more willing to oblige and just do it for us. And it just becomes a whole different atmosphere. It's just a whole different dynamics within the relationship when your communication is on point. When you know how to communicate, when you know the way to make him feel good with also requesting something that's important to you, that is so, it's like one of the fundamentals of a good relationship is knowing how to communicate within, within your partnership there. And our relationship is a partnership. It is a complete partnership. We must look at it that way in order for it to thrive and last through, all the things. It's got to withstand time. There are so many things that come up in our life that we want to work through, that we're going to have to work through whether we want to or not. So communication is a really big one. So again, those 3 pillars are feeling your emotions, being in feminine energy, and effective communication. Okay? So with all of those together, now I'm just gonna, before I go on here, I actually hope, I'm not really sure, because I think some people have not been able to come onto this live. I actually got a message a little while ago saying that it's not even on my personal page. I don't know, this is the first time I've actually set up an event, and I went live through the event, so I'm not even sure if I did it the right way. If not, you're gonna have to watch the replay, and I am sorry about that. Even if you were invited on here or you wanted to come on, we're learning. Okay, so I'm gonna continue though, and hopefully I'm trusting that you're gonna see this when you need to see it. So as we go on here. So as I was saying, those are the 3 pillars that we need to have in place in order for our relationship to be healthy and long-lasting and withstand everything that comes up in life and get better and better. That's what we want. The honeymoon phase is absolutely out of this world, but what happens later, that's the magical part. That's like, reaping the rewards of everything you've done throughout your life, and it is phenomenal. We're going to change that. It's not coming out very well today. It is absolutely the best feeling in the world. Absolutely the best. When I know that, he's got my back and he knows I've got his back. We're in this together. Yeah. Okay, so what we've done here is this relationship that we've actually built together is now a legacy that we're passing on to our children, because they have experienced firsthand what it's like to live in a situation, in a surrounding that is full of love and trust and respect. They don't always see the passion part of it. Okay? We do save a lot of that for when they're not around, but they do see us hug and they know, okay? They know it's there. So these are the things, these are such important things, because I know that there's so many women, so many families, so many couples that are feeling, not that they made the wrong choice, and sometimes it does happen, you made the wrong choice at the beginning. The honeymoon phase is a completely different experience than life together in a relationship and what it actually takes. But even if you've had a relationship going on for several years and all of a sudden things go downhill, I'm not saying that that's not something that can happen, but very often it is because of one of these 3 things that I mentioned above, one of these 3 pillars that I talked about before. That's the feeling your emotions, being in feminine energy, and the effective communication. It's usually one of those things that has gone wrong, and things have just gone sour within your relationship, because we want to give them a solid foundation. We want to give our children a solid foundation so that they can pass this legacy, this blueprint of love, of loving relationship down to their children as well. How many people do you know that are divorced, that are separated, that are living in a circumstance that they don't want to be in. Maybe they don't have even the money to end the relationship, and that is so sad. But really, we can turn so much around. And so much of that is because of those pillars that I talked about. And I just can't keep going back to them because they are the most important fundamentals in our relationship. Absolutely. Okay, so when we become the example for our children, we can then, they see this in a natural situation, they see firsthand what it's like, and they can then understand there are much greater possibility of having a relationship that stays healthy for many years to come with their partner, and they can also pass it down to their children. Okay, so that is my goal with all of this, and I'm here to help you do that. Now, even though you've had some success in your relationship until now, or like this is, part of, you wish parts of it were different, and you wanted, something that you wish you had known years ago, all of that is okay. I want you to understand that it's okay, because where you're starting from now is the best thing you can do. The fact that you're here on this masterclass with me, gaining from my experience from all of these years and all the extra resources that I've also learned along the way, that is the most important step. That is step number one for you being able to change your relationship, or the parts of your relationship that are not working now, or the parts of your relationship that you want to change and make even better than they are. Okay, so the thing is, whether these are things you want to know, a long time ago or even now, it's absolutely possible to change the dynamics within your relationships by starting right now. By starting right now, we can repair the relationship, but that means you're going to have to take a full responsibility, full self-responsibility of what's going on in the relationship, even though there are two of you in it. Each one has to take full responsibility. And as women, and I'm speaking as women here because I know most of my audience here is women, and I work with women. As women, we are the ones that if we say, I'm going first, believe me, you'll get a good response. You'll get a good response from him, even if you don't say anything, even if you don't let him know. Once we work together and we make some changes in what's going on, you will see he responds to you differently. He'll begin to see the things that are important to you. That it may look like right now that he's not even aware of them. You may be thinking, okay, so I've asked him 1,000,000 times. Like, how does he not see that? How does he not know it? He's tuned out to your requests, or maybe say demands even, maybe. Demanding, masculine energy. That doesn't work on him. The most powerful thing we can do is be in our feminine energy. The very most powerful thing we can do. So, you'll see, first of all, we can repair, but again, we need to take full self-responsibility as we go ahead with this. We can rekindle the relationship by having compassion and being willing to forgive. If a lot has gone on, a lot of water has passed under this bridge, and some of this water doesn't feel very good, we can easily rekindle a lot of this passion in your relationship by being compassionate and being willing to forgive. These are, again, two of the traits that are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, a bit of Hebrew coming in here. They're a very big and very important part of the feminine energy. Okay? So we can repair, we can rekindle our relationship, and we can also reunite you two together. But that means we've got to be intentional. We've got to be intentional about building the trusting and the love and the passion and the connection within a relationship that you have decided this is going to be a thriving relationship. Okay? So that's the uniting part. We can do that. We absolutely can do that. And what we're going to have to do actually is reset. We're going to have to reset your relationship on the path. We're going to switch the path from where you were going, which was either the path of destruction or the path of fights or the path of feeling like you're, just housemates now. The passion is gone, the love is gone, feel probably the respect is gone, the trust is gone maybe. That can come up too. That definitely comes up when all of these things, like that doesn't happen if something else wasn't an issue. If one of the infidelity, that comes up in relationships, how to work through that, how to work through the triggers. So what we want is to reset the relationship that you've got now so your relationship can be set up for sustainable, long-lasting love. Okay. So if you have any questions, whether you're here now or coming on the replay, I would love to answer them for you. And this actually wraps up the content part. Oh, just a minute. I feel my voice is getting a bit talking enough here, I think. Okay, so this actually wraps up the content part of this masterclass. And as I mentioned, earlier, I'm going to, I think I did mention it earlier, but I'm going to offer a way for you to work with me here. And this is going to be something extra special because this wraps up our 21-day Love Tip series. And I am so excited because I thought this was such an important thing to bring into the world and help you with your relationship here. So this masterclass was really important for that. I really, I'm so happy I was able to do this and connect with you here. So my coaching is for women, okay? I work one-on-one with women who are in long-term relationships and feel that it's not exactly, you like to share, Cassandra says she left to service with her daughter-in-law and son. They're really going through it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, definitely share this with them. I would be so happy. It would be, an honor for you to share this with them because this is what we need to bring this onto our children, allow them to see what is possible and how to make it work. Okay? So my coaching is for women that are in long-term relationships and feel it's not going in the right direction. There is something you're either feeling you're growing apart or you feel you're just coasting along and, just feel like I said before, like you're in a housemate mode. How exciting is that? Or, there's tension and most of the communication goes on. That brings up a lot of stress in your relationship and makes you feel, you can feel it in your heart and it leaves you with this horrible, heavy, yucky feeling. We don't want that in a relationship either because there's no way to proceed forward in a positive way if we feel that in our heart. And, the same issues may be coming up time and time again. And it feels like you got to walk around on eggshells to avoid them because otherwise he's going to snap, you're going to snap. It's just going to create this, huge fight again or worse. Okay? And many relationships, there are so many more, relationships that are ending. The COVID that has come into the world now has brought in a lot of tension between relationships. And we want to really, really, move past that because you started out together because you wanted to be together. So let's do it. Let's bring this on together. Let's make it work. And it is possible. I mean, there are cases that it's gone beyond repair. But if, both partners are willing to make it work, both partners want to make it work together, it can be done. It can definitely be done. Definitely it can be done. So what I've decided to do was I created a special offer for right now. celebrating the end of this 21-day Love Tip series and our masterclass here. So my one-on-one intensives, besides the one-on-one coaching program that is a longer term, it's for 12 weeks and we work together intensively on that, like one-on-one, and we've got our coaching calls and we've got the support, the messaging support and the tech support that goes on through the through the duration of these 12 weeks together, and we really shift things that goes on there. So besides that, I also have intensives, which are the same one-on-one. It's a call, it's a 60-minute coaching call with me privately. We do video, all the feels, get in all the vibes. We get to see each other and feel everything about each other. And those normally, their going rate for that is $444 for a session like that. But I wanted to make it something special right now. So that right now is going for the next 3 days. Okay, this is happening for the next 3 days. So we're on Thursday and it is probably right now around 1 o'clock Eastern time. I think so. Let me just check. Almost, yeah, we'll do it till 1 o'clock Eastern time. Going to be on Sunday. So it's all of Thursday. So it's until Friday, Saturday, and Sunday till 1 o'clock Eastern time. That price is going to be $333. And as a fast action bonus for those special women that reach out, that know, yes, this is for me. Yes, I want to change the situation. Yes, I want to do this. Yes, I'm committed to changing my relationship and having a better feeling in my life and being able to pass this on to my children, this whole atmosphere, to keep our household together and enjoy, all of the fruits of this. So for those first 3 women that are going to reach out within this period of time, you're going to get an extra week of texting and voice messaging back and forth with me for 1 week. So that's 7 days. And it's something that we do in Voxer. And that's what I have with my private clients, okay, for this, that work with me the long term, which is the 12 weeks coaching, the VIP coaching program that I've got for the one-on-ones. So you'll be getting the first 3 women that reach out. We'll be getting that for 7 days as well. So on this call, we're going to either work on 1 or 2 very specific issues, and we'll probably be mapping out your life as well and seeing how this has come into, your life in past times as well. And, if these are repeating patterns that are coming up, and we're going to work through and we're going to shift, we're going to make some changes, and you will have tangible results, tangible ideas, and tangible things that you can work on and understand how to change this for the future and how to make your relationship shift the whole dynamics so that you will be absolutely in love with your relationship later on. And of course, later on, if we feel this is a good fit and we want to work together, then of course we will check that out as we're working together here. So that, my beautiful women and men, if you're on here, that wraps up the masterclass for today. And I am so happy I was able to present this to you. And I do have a feeling this was not live on my personal page. Somehow, I don't know, because I haven't seen any extra comments here or anything, but maybe I'm not even seeing comments. It could be, Facebook can sometimes be kind of weird and bugs come up and everything like that. But this wraps it up. And if you have any questions or anything, any comments, I would love to hear them. Just put them in the comments below and I will go back and check them. And of course, for those women that are interested in working with me, doing these intensive sessions, that I've got this special offer and the special, fast action bonus for the first 3 within these 3 days, then definitely reach out to me in a private message and we will get in touch and we'll go from there. And of course, if you want to work on me right away, you think this is what you want, the 12-week session, so we can really dive deep and shift everything right away, within this time, then, message me again and we will connect and see if we are a good fit together. Okay, so, wow, I am so happy. I'm absolutely so happy and thrilled that I was able to present this and, give you all of this information. And I hope that it has given you a new perspective and you are able to see things differently. Oh, you appreciate it. Thank you so much for telling me that, Cassandra. Makes me very happy. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye for now, and thank you so much, and I will be seeing you around, and take care. Bye-bye for now.